Javion Cohen. Oh, yes. And he may be a little confused there, going, wait a minute, hold on a second here. In the photo, he had a University of Miami jersey on. In the videos, he had an Alabama jersey on. And that's because he went to both. He played last year at Miami, but prior to that, he played 3 seasons in Tuscaloosa. Roll Tide.
Alabama.
Alabama. I love messing with Alabama fans. Am I the only one? If I see an Alabama fan, I have to say Roll Tide just to get all excited and say it back. It's hilarious. It's like they came and helped themselves. It's like it's like going to somebody like, oh, you're an Alabama fan, huh? Roll Tide. They're like,
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Get out to
it. You have to troll. It's almost like Russell Wilson last season or 2 seasons ago. Let's ride. No matter how bad they were doing, let's ride.
Listen, they've been doing pretty good for quite a while. Anyway, Cohen's 6'4", 305 pounds. Now, this is another one of those rare cases where literally nobody lists his age online. It's really weird to me when that happens. I don't understand why some places just don't have ages on people. And literally, I look everywhere. I look Wikipedia, I look Pro Football Reference, which has they have their college version as well. I forget the name of that one off the top of my head. But they have a college version of it as well. PFF, all these different websites. I even just search like Javion Cohen age, and like nothing comes up. It's the weirdest thing. What I can tell you is he started college in 2020. So what that tells you is he's probably born around 2002, around there. So that would put him around 22 years old. Again, give or take a year, the direction at that point there, depending on when he was born and that kind of stuff. Anyway, played in 12 games in 22. Played in 12 games in 23 as well, with just a 59.4 PFF grade, guys. Really poor PFF grade there. And a lot of it was the tape at that point there. You look at it and you watch him play. And I think, honestly, we talked about it before where sometimes there's guys like Lloyd at USC, the running backs. We talked about him, moving from South Carolina to USC, and that was a great move for him. I think Cohen going to Miami was a bad move. I think him going to a team like that and having to learn to block with these guys like that, I think I think it just didn't work out. I think it just was a bad move because I go back to his Alabama tape, and to me, it was better. I'm not saying it was stellar, but it was better. And I think he had issues just not knowing who was around him as much at that point, not having that level of trust like that you develop being on a team together for a couple of years. I think he just wasn't as comfortable for whatever reason. Plays left guard specifically. As far as the pros, good footwork. He's smart. He's agile. He's good on pulls. So this is a guy that has the things that you can't teach. And that's part of what puts him up there in this category, even with the horrible tape he had last year. Good footwork. You either got it or you don't. It's like when you go on the dance floor and one guy looks like a fool, one guy looks like he knows what he's doing. You either got that or you don't. I don't.
Yeah, true. When you go out there, when you got 2 left feet, yeah.
I don't have 2 left feet, but I do get drunk and break dance, do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I actually did that last time I went to a club. I was like, here, hold my beer. It broke dance and melted the floor. It was fun. You're like, what is this guy doing? Oh, I didn't have the cardboard. I wish I did. I've made it so much better. But, like I said, having good football IQ, you have it or you don't. Having good footwork, you have it or you don't. Being agile, you are or you aren't. These are things you can't teach. And that's what, like I said, puts him on here. Now, the cons for him, he's got short arms, even for a guard. And they kind of hurt him to a certain extent there. And he's not overly aggressive at the snap. And he's not overly aggressive in general. You want that mean streak at that point in a lineman. He just doesn't have it. Now, I'm not sure, again, if that is something that can be trained. You either have it or you don't, typically, with that as a personality trait thing. I just think he's going to struggle at the next level. And I think he's probably relegated to a backup. But I'd actually be curious to see what he could do at the center position. And I have heard some rumors that some people would want to actually convert him over to a center and see if having those shorter arms, putting him more inside helps, because you got more help on the outside there with the two guards on both sides, opposed to the tackle who's trying to watch the edge there at that point, you know. Like I said, I've seen that been thrown up. I don't know if anybody's actually put him at the position to see what he can do yet. But again, he's got some good traits that you can't teach. And I think, again, we talked about with Robinson. If you feel like you've talked to him and you feel like he's understanding what you're trying to teach him when you're in interviews process and stuff like that with him, and you want to take the shot, there's not a lot of great guards in this draft. Sometimes you have to go with your gut instincts. If you were going to, come into this draft going, you know what, I need a guard. I top ones are gone. Who we got left, and who interviewed very well, and who do we think is teachable? Who's the guy that we think we see potential in?
Yeah, they've just like you said, they may look like at the Alabama tape like, wow, this guy's a stud. They go back
freaking Bama.
Bama, and they go back to Miami and like, oh, maybe the guy partied a little too much when he shouldn't have been partying, or maybe this guy didn't gel with the team that he went over to.
Yeah, you never know what happens behind the scenes.
Yeah, so like the interview will definitely help that break that down, but
break it down.
But yeah,
I mean, that's where this is where a lot of that background stuff that we don't have access to is what makes the difference. I have him also as a day 3 selection as well. And again, where he's going to go in day 3 is going to depend on probably on just that, where those interviews were and how people thought of him personality wise, how coachable he thought he was, that kind of stuff.
And also how fast a couple of these other guys are going to go.
Oh yeah, and
I'm not saying they're going to go fast, but
I think some guys will actually go faster than they should, purely because of the fact that, again, it's a weak class. I think you'll start seeing some people go, okay, there's only a couple good guards left, so we got to take one now.
I was about to say, there's going to be desperation picks.
Yeah, and I don't mean the Calvin Klein.
Oh, jeez.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.